Hey there, welcome back to Featherwood Farm. We are in the deck garden right now where I'm getting ready to come through, do a nice weeding over here, plant some new perennial plugs that I have, lay mulch, clean up the pathways, clean up the border, things like that, getting it looking ready for summer. Really excited because behind me you can see I planted serendipity alliums last autumn, bulbs, and yeah, I'd say they're a good 3 foot tall right now, and they're just starting to show little pokes of, or little pops of purple. So hopefully within the next few days, those will be in full bloom. And I put those bulbs in clusters of like 5 to 7 all the way in this bed around the deck. Not in the fire pit garden. I don't know why I didn't continue it through there because I still have bulbs left. I don't know. I don't know the thought right there. But I should get those extra bulbs that I have and put those in there anyway, because I think it'll look really nice. But yeah, the perennials that I have to put in, they're all plugs that I ordered, and it's in keeping with the minimal color scheme that I'm going with over here, which is just purples, yellows, and touches of white. As of right now, the white is only coming through in the hydrangeas. I have three Invincible rubies. Over here, this is a little hottie behind me. And then to the right, I don't know if the camera's picking it up right yet, is a firelight. So they'll all start off a little white, creamy, and mostly move into, shades of red. So I have the perennials that I'm going to be putting in. They're all plugs, and let's just see. Okay, so I got a few Helen von Stein lamb's ears, some stackies. I just have 2 plants currently in the courtyard that look really lovely over there. So I'm thinking if I can find a place in this bed that doesn't get inundated in the spring, which might end up being more so over there, it would be nice to put these in. Texturally, they're different. They're kind of that gray green, so the color contrast as well as the texture, and the leaves are very, very large. So it's really just a full contrast plant to kind of most anything else in my garden. Then just your basic Gold Sturm, Black-Eyed Susan. Kind of can't go wrong with them. At least I can't in my gardens. They survive. They don't get eaten by critters. And I mean, yeah, when you're growing kind of cottage vibes, you really can't beat that. So they're going to be, a summer into the fall bloomer, late summer. So that's nice. And then a Calamint White Cloud. I do have more of the junior walkers, which are the purple color that I've put in that are clustered all over here, which are looking beautiful. And they have a really, really nice rounded habit, mounding habit. They didn't flop as much as other varieties that I've had. My soil is rich. My soil is wet. And these ones can handle that pretty well, it seems like. And yeah, didn't have a ton of flopping. I think partly due to their size. They are a smaller size than some varieties that I had. I think I grew Six Hills Giant, which was enormous, and always flopped and had that kind of open center. So this will just be the second year that they've been in, and they look really lovely right now. We'll kind of keep an eye and see how they grow. Maybe they might flop open a bit. I'll just have to pay attention and trim them up if needed. But so I thought I would try my luck with the Calamint White Cloud, which are going to look very similar. They're also a smaller size. Let's see, 12 to 18 inches high, spaced 12 to 15 inches apart. Yeah, and these should keep that same sort of compact mounded shape, but have white flowers. And yeah, I'm deciding if I just kind of want to mix them in already where I have some of the junior walkers, or, add them in different places. I don't know, we'll see. Another thing that I do want to put in here that I don't have on hand, I have to visit a nursery. I've only made one trip to a nursery this year. It's been a very, very busy spring. So yeah, I just haven't had the time to get to a nursery, which is really sad, and I need to change that. But when I do go there, I'm going to get some of the Penicillium grasses that I have the 3 of over on this side, because I want to mimic that as well. This garden is going to be not just repetition of the colors, but also of the plants throughout the whole bed. So I think everything that I've chosen is going to be successful, fairly low maintenance, pretty proliferous throughout the summer, the Nepetas especially, and then carry into the autumn with the black-eyed Susans and the asters that I have in here. And then of course the hydrangeas will keep with that as well, that kind of nice fall show. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so you can see here are the 3 Penicillium grasses, and yeah, it looks like this one had a little bit of center die back. Yeah, so I'll have to see how this performs. I mean, you can see the green coming in around. This just might need to be divided. It can't help that my chickens kick mulch into the center of this poor plant. These are a warm season grass, so that's why they, look the way they do right now. It's gonna take them a minute to get started. This one over here looks much, much better though. So yeah, it might just be that I replaced that specimen. Anyway, yeah, I want to get a few more of those for the other side. You can see behind here there are invincible ruby hydrangeas, just little things. I think I got them as quartz last year. Yeah, they weren't very large, but they are really flushing out with a lot of leafy growth, so that is nice. So I want to, like I said, mimic those 3 grasses. I'm just going to use some stakes to mark off where those are going to go so that I don't end up, planting something else here. Okay, actually. Over the last few days, we have received another 3+ inches of rain, and so I think it's actually an excellent time to plant. The ground is definitely moist and workable, but it was soggy there for a few days. And I might change where these go. This is just my initial thoughts. Okay, I think that should look nice. It might, well, let's see. 2, 3, 6. Okay, they are spaced about evenly apart, so that's good. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna keep that how it is. And this is something that I put here a few years ago. Oh, this is a squash, squash nubbin. Yeah, I planted this here a few years ago, and I actually grew it from seed. The name is evading me right now, but it has done surprisingly well. Like, it gets trampled by the dogs, it gets torn at by the chickens. I step on it occasionally, but it's doing really well here. It's even spreading, and I feel guilty, but I don't actually want it to stay there. Whatever this is, it is very shallow rooted. Oh yeah, you can see it's kind of just a mat. Oh, wireworm. Romy. Romelia. Okay, this is definitely one of the larger roly-polies isopods I think I've come across. To put that somewhere safe. And as you can see, chickens love dirt bathing over here. Really frustrating because they have been kind of exposing the roots to these two grapevines, which I really need to trim, should have already done, but I'm hoping that once I get it all cleaned up and lay more mulch here and kind of cover it, they'll stop doing that. Won't hold my breath though. Oh boy, a billion ants. Oop. Okay, so the lamb's ear gets 12 inches high and 12 to 18 inch spacing. And I'm thinking here should be fairly safe. Like, the water does come up here in really, really heavy situations, but usually kind of, stops about this point. It stops like halfway through this bed, and it recedes from here very quickly. This isn't an area that stands in water for very long. So, I mean, we'll try. Worst case scenario, we have to move it because it is too much water, but it would only be in, extreme situations in kind of the springtime. There isn't like a winter wet situation over here, so that's good. And so I'm thinking having the lamb's ear right here, and that'll kind of hug this corner where the stair is, and then wrapping a couple of these Nepetas. Again, these are white cloud Calamints. They are 12 to 18 inches tall, 12 to 15 inch spacing. So clustering them kind of like this and tucking one back behind these alliums right here. And that'll help once this allium foliage starts kind of dying back as well, kind of help hide that. And then up in this corner will be the grass that'll kind of soften this pathway edge right here. Should look nice. Yes. Let's do that. Oh, I forgot my trowel. The two that I have planted in the courtyard, you know, they were buried under snow for a couple months at least, and once that snow melted, they did not look great. There was a lot of kind of brown, mushy leaf almost situation, and I went in early spring and cut that all away, and you know, they looked still like pretty tattered plants, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, and they rebounded and they look amazing now. So because they're a first for me. I just put those in last year and, you know, didn't know how they would perform for me, so I'm really pleased with that. Also, another good thing about these kind of being woven through the alliums here is the chickens shouldn't mess with them too badly. I have some wire cloches that are protecting things up there, but I've slowly been removing them, so if I need to, I might be able to like put one over the lamb's ear right there. No, don't even look at it. Lubella, no. Almost stepped right on it. There's nothing in there for you. Look, nothing. Yeah. I had said a lot earlier in the year, maybe the beginning of the year, maybe it was even last year, I'm not sure, that, you know, I thought maybe I would secure it so that they couldn't get out of the kind of the goat pen area, and I wouldn't let them into the yard. Clearly, I did not follow through on that plan. I just love the chickens too much, and it's just so cute seeing them in the gardens. And they're not that destructive to the plants. There are a few things that they've tattered, like my Perennials, but it's the mulch thing, you know, kicking the mulch and the soil around. I actually think I planted these two a little too close, so I'm just gonna adjust that real quick. Not that you can even see this one. I think what I'm actually gonna do is just put these white Calamints on either side of this walkway, and then keep the junior walker, which are the purple Nepetas, in like the beds and continue that pattern. I think that should look nice. I'm thinking what I might do is lift up all of these flags and put some pea gravel underneath them and kind of raise it up, you know, an inch or two, so that they don't set flush with the mulch. They set kind of above the mulch, and maybe that'll help keep it from getting kicked in, because it does look pretty when you can actually see that there are stones here. Oh, they are just buried under soil and mulch. Part of that was also the flooding, not just the chickens. Like this kind of soil cake down there. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do over here is kind of mimic the other side. I don't Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to fit 3 of these white cloud calamints in here. I might only be able to tuck 2 in, but that should be fine. Let's see. Actually, put that. Okay, no, we'll squeeze 3 in. Those are about a foot apart, I'd say, yeah. So either side of this pathway, it's going to be balanced but not symmetrical. And then this will kind of help with the exact same thing as the alliums. Once the daffodil foliage starts dying back, we'll kind of have something to fill in the space there. These aren't obviously very tall growing things, so you will see some of the strappy foliage still, but is what it is. They don't look like much right now, but plugs really seem to put on the growth very quickly. I was incredibly pleased with the plugs that I got last year and planted. So the little hottie hydrangea isn't a large one, so 3.5 feet tall and wide. It should, come out to about here. And then I'm thinking we put a couple of the Rudbeckias like so, kind of flanking it. These should be spaced 2 foot apart and 18 to 30 inches tall. So it's probably pretty close. And then I'm going to put some of the Junior Walkers catmints in between those. These only get 14 to 18 inches tall, 12 to 14 inches wide. So kind of tuck those. And then it'll be grass. And then again, we'll just kind of repeat that same pattern. The firelight will get larger. I think they are, actually this one still has the tag on it. So 6 to 8 foot tall and wide. But this would be something that I kind of limbed up. So I'm not too concerned about things kind of growing up underneath it. That's kind of what we're going for here. These are last year's Junior Walker Nepetas. As you can see, they look beautiful. And they're quite honestly about their full size. And then these behind the Junior Walker Nepetas are Mystica penstemon. These I grew from seed several years ago now and transplanted them from divisions from the courtyard garden. And yeah, they do really well. These almost look like they're intentionally put there, but they're not. They're a weed. This area is kind of so weedy because last year I never actually completed mulching it, so shame on me, but that will change this year. Some of these finer, small weeds, I'm just going to come in with my hand hoe and just scritch them out. All right, so it's not completely done. There are still a few things that I need to do, such as continue spreading the mulch, but I want to get the tractor because shoveling that is a chore that I'm not really into right now. So more mulch needs to be added. The pennisetum grasses, as I said, I have to purchase, looks like 5 of those. And I am going to go ahead and do my plan of lifting all of these flags and laying some pea gravel beneath them. I think that'll be nice. I've added in a few more perennial plugs since the first part of the video. A couple more alliums, millennium alliums right there. Probably can't see, but behind the bench I added a cluster of Rudbeckias, and I think that those will grow up like right kind of to the back of this and be a really beautiful pop of yellow against that. I also would like to get maybe 2 white flowering clematis to climb up this. I think that would be really nice and add the touch of white that we're kind of sprinkling in throughout this garden. Another grass will be going here. This pathway is one that I am okay if it gets hidden and like grown over by the plants. It's just sort of a little access path to that outlet right there for hot tub maintenance and such, so very rarely used. And I have, again, another cluster of Rudbeckias, some more of the Junior Walker Nepetas woven in with those. On this side will be on either side of this are going to be those White Cloud Calamints, and then 2 Helen von Stein lamb's ears. And then I did pop in right there an October Skies Aster plug, which I have over there as well. So continuing that through, those will be purple. but it's looking so nice. And we are so close to those Nepetas kind of bursting into flower, so that'll be a lovely pop of purple. Obviously these serendipity alliums are also very close. And once I get those grasses in, I think that that'll add a nice soft texture to balance this all out as well. So I think we are headed in the right direction of kind of this calm, serene, park-like setting that I am going for, especially if you can focus in on the bird song and not the car noise, which I try really, really hard to do. But thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next video.